I'm looking at my missus and I'm trying to tell her what to train. Obviously, squat, bench, deadlift, right? Like, easy work, man. Just turn off your brain and do that for the next 6 months and you're done. But after all these years, man, of training, I think a bit more deeper than that. I'm already thinking about her first plateau. I'm already thinking about her first big obstacle. Because we all get there, right? We all get there. If it was a linear progression, just doing squat, bench, deadlift, there will be a lot of guys bloody squatting 1,000 pounds. But that's not the case. So if you are foreseeing somebody's plateau or somebody's weakness developing, then you can just act upon it earlier. Why wait for the plateau? So after spending a lot of time under the barbell and training in general, playing basketball, like I've got a lot of experience, moving my body through space. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool, no worries. You're a very active individual. You're a mum, you're a nurse, you do all these wonderful things. I kind of know where you're going to end up. So why don't I just start training the stuff that's going to not get trained with the squat, bench, deadlift? Now, we can all agree upon one thing, and that's the squat, bench, deadlift, the compound exercises. The big compound exercises, they target the most amount of muscles. But there is not a single exercise that will do everything equally, and all you got to do is that exercise. It's impossible. Everything you do is going to favor one muscle more so than the other. Even my beloved squat, I once upon a time thought all you got to do is squat. It hits everything. The bloody barbell is on your shoulders and you're moving that thing through space. That's fair. Cool. However, the quads, glutes, and adductors are going to work much harder than the bloody tibialis anterior, more so than the obliques, more so than any other. So it's like a ranking. So if you were to rank the muscles used in whatever style of squat you do, there's going to be a ranking of how much that muscle is going to get innervated by stimulation from the nervous system for that thing to happen, for that exercise to go like that. So that thing right at the bottom, let's say, I don't know, your triceps don't really get a lot of action doing squatting. And so they're going to just linger there and fall behind every training session because they're not really getting that stimulus from squatting. Now, the tricep is not really going to be an impact on your squatting numbers ever. However, what if you get to a point where your glute max is so strong, your adductors are really, really strong, your quads are really strong, but your glute medius and minimus and medius start to fall apart. Your TFL starts to fall apart a little bit. And there's like this huge gap develops between those two muscle groups. What happens then? Well, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're not really using them. What if there is a discrepancy, a limit of how much of a gap is healthy? What if we grow that gap to such an extent that now the bloody glute maximus is having a difficult time firing because the glute medius and minimus are so weak that the nervous system innervating both of those tissues is now being braked upon. It's now being deregulated because simply those muscles are so weak they might tear. So now there is this global systemic deregulation of the nervous system because we are trying to take care of the weakest member of the team, let's say the glute minimus. This is where doing minimalism is really, really bad. This is where it falls short. Short term, great. If you want to pick up to a certain standard, that's fine. But long term, man, you got to do a various different exercises in order for you to grow all of that list that we're talking about, 1 to 100, that ranking. You got to grow all that stuff. That stuff in the middle of that ranking got to get worked a bit more in some other exercises. Maybe you want to do an exercise for that muscle right at the bottom of that list. Make that a focus in that exercise, and all of a sudden in that exercise, the last muscle used in the squat is now the number one muscle used in this new exercise. And so then through time, through years of training, you develop this somewhat a balanced development. And that is health. Balance in general is healthy, man. Regardless of what genre or topic or whatever we're talking about, balance is key, dude. Balance is key in chemistry, in biomechanics, in your blood work. You don't want... The body is so freaking delicate in terms of its balance. Man, our pH in the blood needs to be 7.35, 7.45. If you go to 7.1, you're knocking on heaven's door. Do you understand? So 0.2 of a pH drop will kill you in certain circumstances. Certainly we in ED, we say once the pH drops below 7, it's damn near impossible for that person to survive. Unless there's special circumstances, if that person has been very ill for a very long time and there's been like a gradual decline, but suddenly somebody's pH going from 7.35 to 7, you're in big trouble. So that's that balance thing again, right? So we need balance. And so in this squat every day, you could probably say straight out, right, man, there's not a lot of balance there. And so maybe just me unknowingly, intuitively, I've had so much variation and so much experimentation around this because I've selected to do some extreme thing and I'm seeking balance through all these other exercises, all these other accessories. That's why there's been so much stuff going through and through and through and through, because I'm basically literally looking for something to balance the squat perfectly. So that can I just do the squat and I can do this other thing and just do those two things forever. However, what I've worked out is that one thing is not one thing. That one thing is about 20 other things. Because even that other thing that I do to support the squat will need support from something else. You see what I mean? It's a funny old game, but I have this intrinsic gravitational pull towards minimalism. I don't know why, I just do. And I'm constantly trying to fight it. And it's sometimes annoying, like today. Appreciate you guys like always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.